first week, we read out of Ephesians, and I'll reread that to you. And it was Ephesians 3, verse 14 and following. Paul says, "For this reason I kneel before the Father, from whom his whole family in heaven and on earth derives its name. Pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the saints, to grasp how wide and how long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all fullness of God." So we kind of had fun with that whole power word. The whole BAM! Because you guys were sleepy that first week, and it drove me crazy, so I had to act ignorant to get your attention. And I might have to do that today, I'm not sure. It's kind of teetering a little bit. But power, that word is derived from the word dynamite, which we get our word dynamite from, which makes a big sound and goes boom. And he's saying, I need you to gain the power to be very specific in your prayer life, so that you will tap into this huge resource. And let me tell you and show you how much I love you. And then your prayer life will change. Okay? So there were 3 mistakes that we make about our prayer life. Our prayers are too small, they're too general, and they're too sporadic. We remember that? Everybody shake your head, yes. Okay? And we need to learn to pray big, faith-filled, passionate, persistent prayers. We need to pray specific. Let me ask you this. Over the last 2 weeks, has your prayer life changed at all? Has it changed at all? Have you developed a prayer life over the past 2 weeks? If not, no guilt trip. Thank you. I know Roland and I just talked about this morning specific prayer that he's been praying and watching it unfold. And I'm telling you that if you will tap into that resource and take some time to have some conversation with the one who created you, the riches are incredible. The riches are incredible. Last week, we talked about, read a short part of a book from Philemon. Remember that? Okay. Now, what was Paul's charge to Philemon? What did he say to him? What did he want him to do? What did he praise him for, and what did he challenge him? Thank you. Active in sharing it. He said, hey, great job loving your own people. Not so good on loving people outside your circle. Ironically enough, we're going to kind of talk about that again today. Who remembers the 4 ways that we can share faith? Oh, stop there. Anybody pray for that this week? Besides me praying for you, that you would have an encounter with someone who would challenge you to talk about your faith? You did. You stop it. Well, please share it. Please share it. Nothing came of it? Okay. You kind of went, I'm off the hook. I did what I was supposed to do.
I'm just kind of confused on the person that I'm praying to come into my life. It hasn't really happened yet.
That's okay. That's okay. Because it's God's timing. That's right. That's God's timing. And sometimes I think that He wants to see how persistent our prayers are about that specific prayer. Because, we could just kind of pray about it for a couple of days and go, well, nothing happens on that. Maybe He really wants you to want that opportunity. So He's going to kind of stretch it out. Okay? Anybody come across anybody this week that you were given the opportunity to share your faith with? Look at you there. There's 3. There's 4. There's 4. Anybody want to share?
I will.
Or 5?
Well, actually, I was in a scenario where a gentleman was starting to share some of his life with me, and that I had contact with, and he's like, yeah, I can't go into too much detail, but he's like, said something. He goes, the only thing getting me through is God. I said, hey, my husband and I are going to church, and it's hard not to be able to tell too much detail. But anyway, they may be coming to church in the next couple weeks.
So you were invitation?
Yes, I was able to share, she was able to share, and then I was an invitation.
Very nice.
She said, we've been looking, can't find the right place, and I said, hey, you can join us. It's like, I don't want to be judged. I'm like, you're not going to be judged here. You
Hey, look around the room.
Yeah.
Look around the room.
Come
Are you
in,
kidding
and
me?
we are going to love you guys.
Good grief. Very nice.
Exciting.
Where's Keith? Remember the story I told you about Keith? Diablo?
Oh.
Anybody else want to share before we get into it? Sheila? No?
You know, I will just talk to anyone. I'm sure you find it. But
Wouldn't believe it for a minute.
I know. We were in Washington, D.C., and it was exciting for me to see every variety of person there.